Halloween, 1978 changed horror forever. But what makes it truly terrifying isn't just Michael Myers behind that mask. It's the brutal, methodical way he kills his victims. Over one bloody Halloween night in Haddonfield, 6 people and 1 unlucky animal meet their end at Michael's hands. Some deaths are quick and shocking, others are drawn out and personal. Today, I'm breaking down every single painful death in John Carpenter's original masterpiece, explaining what makes each kill so disturbing and how they built Michael Myers into the icon of evil we know today. Trust me, some of these are way more brutal than you remember. Judith Myers. The movie opens on Halloween night 1963 with one of the most iconic kills in horror history. We watch through a POV shot as 6-year-old Michael Myers stalks through his own house, grabs a kitchen knife, and climbs the stairs to his teenage sister Judith's bedroom. She's just finished with her boyfriend and sits brushing her hair at her vanity, completely unaware. Michael enters and stabs her repeatedly with the knife. What makes this death so painful isn't just the violence, it's the betrayal. Judith realizes in her final moments that her own little brother is killing her. The camera never cuts away, keeping us locked in Michael's perspective as he delivers each brutal stab. When it's over, Judith collapses, and Michael calmly walks downstairs where his parents unmask him. This opening kill establishes everything. Michael has no remorse, no hesitation, and no humanity. He was born evil, and his own family isn't safe from him. Mechanic/truck driver. After 15 years in Smith's Grove Sanitarium, adult Michael escapes and needs transportation. The film shows us the aftermath of his first adult kill, a mechanic or truck driver found dead beside a stranded vehicle on a rainy roadside. We don't see the actual murder happen, but we see Michael wearing the man's coveralls and driving his tow truck, which tells us everything. The body lies crumpled on the wet ground, discarded like garbage after serving its purpose. What makes this death particularly cold is how utilitarian it is. Michael doesn't kill this man out of obsession or family connection like his other victims. This is purely functional. He needs clothes and a vehicle to get to Haddonfield, so he takes them. The mechanic was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, making this death feel random and inevitable. It shows that Michael will kill anyone who stands between him and his goal. No hesitation, no mercy. Bob Sims. Bob becomes Michael's first kill inside the Wallace house on Halloween night. Bob and his girlfriend Linda sneak into the house to have some privacy, while Annie is supposed to be babysitting. After they finish fooling around, Bob heads downstairs to grab beers from the kitchen. That's when Michael strikes. Bob stands in the kitchen doorway when Michael appears behind him and lifts him completely off the ground with one hand while driving a kitchen knife through his chest, pinning him against the doorframe. Bob's feet dangle in the air as the life drains from him, his eyes wide with shock and pain. What makes this kill so painful is the sheer physical strength Michael displays. He holds a full-grown man in the air, effortlessly, while the knife slowly pierces through muscle and bone. Bob dies slowly, suspended and helpless, watching his own death happen. Michael then tilts his head, studying Bob's body like a curious animal examining its prey, showing zero empathy for the suffering he's caused. Linda Vander Klok. Linda's death is one of the most personally cruel in the entire film. After Bob doesn't return, Linda wraps herself in a bedsheet as a makeshift ghost costume and goes looking for him downstairs. She finds nothing and returns to the bedroom, still waiting. Growing worried about Bob and frustrated that Annie hasn't called, Linda picks up the phone to call Laurie Strode for help. But what she doesn't realize is that Michael is standing right behind her in Bob's stolen ghost sheet. As Linda complains into the phone, Michael wraps the telephone cord around her neck and pulls tight. Linda struggles desperately, dropping the phone as the cord crushes her windpipe. On the other end, Laurie hears strange sounds but thinks it's a prank. Linda's death is painful not just physically but psychologically. She dies while her friend listens. The strangulation takes time, forcing Linda through every agonizing second as her airway closes and consciousness fades. Michael watches her die up close and personal. Annie Brackett. Annie's death might be the most drawn-out and personal kill in the film. After getting locked out of the Lindsay Wallace house, Annie returns to her car parked in the Wallace driveway to drive to her boyfriend's place. She gets in, starts the car, and doesn't notice Michael hiding in the back seat. As Annie checks her mirrors and prepares to drive, Michael suddenly rises up behind her. She screams and tries to escape, but Michael grabs her and begins his attack. The exact method isn't fully shown. Carpenter keeps some details in shadow, but we later see Annie's body displayed upstairs in the Wallace house with clear signs of a vicious assault. What makes this death especially painful is the terror Annie experiences. She's trapped in an enclosed space with no escape, forced to fight for her life in close quarters against someone impossibly strong. Annie is Laurie's best friend, making her death deeply personal for the final girl. Michael leaves her body posed deliberately for Laurie to find later, turning Annie's death into a psychological weapon. The guard dog. Not all of Michael's victims are human, and this kill shows his complete lack of boundaries. At some point during the evening, Michael encounters a guard dog at the Wallace house property. The dog, likely trained to protect the home, confronts Michael, barking, aggressive, doing its job. Michael kills it. The film doesn't show this death graphically, keeping it off-screen or in shadow, but the implication is clear and disturbing. What makes this death notable is what it reveals about Michael's character. Normal people, even violent criminals, often draw a line at harming animals. Michael has no such line. The dog is simply an obstacle, so he eliminates it without hesitation. Some fans debate whether this death should count in Michael's body count, but thematically it matters because it shows that nothing, not age, not species, not innocence, protects you from Michael Myers. If you're in his way or in his territory, you're already dead. This kill removes any remaining doubt that Michael is completely, irredeemably evil.